Greetings, Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is your Western forecast for September 2024. One of the main themes is spotlighted with the new moon in Virgo on September the 2nd. And this new moon will be impacting everybody for all of September because we don't get to the next new moon, which is actually a solar eclipse, on October the 2nd. Now, the sun is in Virgo the first 3 weeks of every September, so it's putting a real spotlight, really drawing your attention to the 11th sector, because Virgo is 11 signs past Scorpio. But this new moon is when we set our intentions. We are focused on 11th house matters. The 11th house deals with your long-range goals and dreams and aspirations. The 11th deals with friendships and associates and networking. And this new moon, however, is in opposition to restricted, delaying Saturn. The opposition means other people, outside circumstances, and being Saturn is kind of blocking and holding you back. But you're going to be able to release all of that because the new moon is when we're setting our intention. The full moon 2 weeks later reveals what's working and what's not working. But this full moon on September the 17th is a lunar eclipse. And in fact, 2 weeks later, October the 2nd, is a new moon solar eclipse. So twice a year, we go through an eclipse season. This is September through October, when there's a lot of change, a lot of adjustments, a lot of endings, new beginnings, overall in general. Now, this new moon in the 11th could be friendships, could be your goals. So there might be a goal, an aspiration you're trying to achieve, but with the Saturn, other people or economic situations are frustrating and holding it back. Now, before I get into the lunar eclipse, and there's two other important themes that I'll web together. If you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find direct links to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer. Now, that new moon in Virgo in the 11th could also be a friendship that is holding you back or blocking you. Because the 11th house, this main focus, is the house of friendships, group activities. You may be part of a teamwork, part of an organization or a support group. But then you're realizing it's holding you back. It's limiting you. The 11th house really focuses on all your long-range goals and aspirations that you're trying to strive for. But there's a block. Now, this new moon opposite Saturn can have you really confront your challenges and your obstacles. And this can also give a lot of personal growth because that Saturn can be very persevering to break through these obstacles. Now, before I go further into that new moon, full moon cycle, the lunar eclipse cycle, Venus is the planet of relationships, of desire, of diplomacy. Venus is in Libra, and from the end of August through the first 3 weeks of September to September the 22nd. Venus is in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, so Venus is at home in Libra. Venus just wants to give its best results when it's in its home sign of Libra. But Libra is the sign before Scorpio. So that's what we call the 12th house sector, because there's 12 signs of the zodiac. If you make Scorpio number 1 and then Sag number 2 and so forth, you'd get to Libra, and that'd be number 12. When planetary energies are in the 12th house, you're in a holding pattern, you're in a transitional pattern, you're in a wait and see pattern. Venus can be very sociable. But when it's in your 12th house, the first 3 weeks, you may be wanting to play it more low key, maybe not socializing with large groups. And there's that new moon in the 11th house of groups, but opposite Saturn. So you may be wanting to cut back, or you're feeling restricted by friends or groups. And then here's sociable Venus in the 12th house, and you're wanting to play it more low key. But don't fear, because Venus will leave on the 22nd of September and go into Scorpio. Once a year, Venus goes through all the signs. Venus is love, pleasures, enjoyment, creativity. And when Venus goes into your sign, September the 22nd to the middle of October, you're going to be feel more attracted, more sociable. You could attract more attention, more romance into your life. Could be very favorable, not just socially, but creatively. But one of the main themes is there's something with friendships, socializing, groups, organizations that is restricting you. It could be one friend, could be a group you're involved in. And the Venus, that sociable Venus in the shadow sector, the 12th house, the first 3 weeks, is when you might start to be feeling restricted and isolated and blocked. But then the Venus goes into Scorpio, and you're going to be feeling more sociable and more attractive. But we still got to face these restrictions with the group or the friend or any long-term goal. Are you realizing that you might maybe need to make a readjustment because that goal may be too limiting? Mars used to be, before Pluto was discovered in 1930 and was made the ruling planet for Scorpio, Mars, for all those centuries before, in traditional astrology, was the ruler of Scorpio. So Mars is you're still feeling it very personally. Mars is aggressive, assertive, passionate, much like the qualities of Scorpio. Mars is a 2-year cycle. Mars is going into Cancer, a water sign, favorable for Scorpio, a water sign, on September the 4th through November the 3rd. Mars is assertive, ambitious, aggressive. And for these next 2 months, it's in harmony with Scorpio, highlighting your 9th house. The 9th house can be going back to school, taking classes, getting more professional training, as the 9th house can represent higher education. Whether you're teaching or marketing, it's a form of teaching, or being a student. The 9th house can also be dealing with legal matters, but with Mars in harmony with Scorpio, you would be the fighter, you would be aggressive, it's more favorable. The 9th house is where we look to for travel, especially long distance travel or international travel. And Mars can be all of that ambitious and drive, and let's go for it. So that Mars in the ninth, that education, that teaching of the ninth, that you'd be really motivated and driven with Mars, that can also mean marketing and publishing. And today's economic world and business world, that marketing and publishing can really pull in online businesses, because any online business, you're going to have to market it, and you're constantly updating and publishing. And so there could be a lot of ambition and drive and motivation in any of those areas. Now, the full moon lunar eclipse on September the 17th. It's in Pisces. Pisces is also a water sign, and it's in your fifth house. Since Pisces is 5 signs past Scorpio, the fifth house is creative, it's pleasurable, it's romantic, it can deal with children, a lot of playfulness and entertainment. It's a really enjoyable area of the chart. That the full moon lunar eclipse, it may be bringing to your attention that you need to have more fun. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse is at 25 degrees of Pisces. There's 30 degrees in a sign. Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces, and Neptune will be at 28 degrees of Pisces. So this lunar eclipse is being very much influenced by Neptune, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. This can really enhance compassion, intuition, emotional sensitivity, spirituality. That's all the positive qualities of Neptune. But Neptune can also be about transitions and dissolving and letting go. Now, I'm only bringing it up on that more dissolving side because the full moon lunar eclipse in general means something is coming to light that's been hidden that needs to be let go. And so with that, with your insights, your intuition, your compassion from the 17th onward, because the full moon lunar eclipse can last for a while, you might be getting these great insights of what's not working. That goes back to the new moon, because the new moon set our attention in the 11th house of friendships or group activities or our long-range goals that somehow is feeling blocked and limited. 2 weeks later, not only is it full moon that starts to reveal what's hidden, but it's a lunar eclipse, a full moon on steroid. So it's really wanting to reveal what has been blocking you. So with the dissolving Neptune and typical of a lunar eclipse are letting go of old patterns. Now, liberating, innovative, rebellious Uranus is favorable to Neptune and then favorable to the lunar eclipse. Uranus is this liberating energies. It's going to promote breakthroughs with that inspirational Neptune on the full moon lunar eclipse, which is really about also letting go. So a lot of personal growth, a lot of breakthroughs. Now, the lunar eclipse is in Pisces, which is in your 5th house. So it could be a romantic partner. You need to let go, or just let go of the intensity with it. That's one possibility. it's a fifth house of children. You're not going to be letting go of children, but maybe how you are disciplining them. Maybe it's not working and you got to let, or maybe it's not about changing how you are disciplining them. Maybe it's their education. And maybe it's this realization that they need to buckle down. They need to start studying more. And with Mars in the ninth, which is also education, they could even be getting more involved with their schooling. And with the new moon in Virgo in the 11th house, you might be more inclined to get part of a support group, or like the PTA, a school group, that to really help your child. If that lunar eclipse in the 5th is about children for you, could also be about romance. It could also be about creative projects that might be holding you back and blocking you. Now, the Venus leaves the shadow sector on September the 22nd, goes into Scorpio. You're going to be feeling more sociable, more visible, more charming, great for starting a relationship. But if it's a new one, it'd be much better into the next new moon, October the 2nd. But as the Venus leaves the 12th house of the shadow, the unconscious, the Sun leaves the 11th house of group activities and friendships and your long-range goals, and the Sun moves into Libra. On the day that Venus leaves Libra, the Sun moves into Libra for 4 weeks into your 12th house. And so the positive mixed with everything else I've touched upon here, the 12th house can be dealing with a lot of deep introspection, a lot of charity, helping those less fortunate. It can put a real interest in your spiritual practices. That's all that 12th house, the shadow, the unconscious. And you might be more inclined with the Sun to put a spotlight on what's hidden in your unconscious through therapy or astrology. Because I've heard years ago that you could be in therapy for a year and a half, and you can have one astrology session and hit all those high points in 1 or 2 hours with an astrology reading. But having that Sun putting a spotlight on what's hidden in the unconscious could be very revealing. On a more mundane level, whatever's been going on behind your back and hidden in the shadows, that could be part of the new moon opposite Saturn, where Saturn is could be this restricted energies to the new moon, and that could be, as I said, a friendship, or if you're involved in some kind of group activities, that's been holding you back. So this can be a powerful month for a lot of personal growth, for letting go of what, in many ways, what is hidden, kept secret from you, or unconscious. And with Mars in the 9th for 2 months, you might be traveling a lot, publishing, marketing, really ambitious to get more professional training, or to finally go back and get that degree. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co, that's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.